Let me set up real quick. So just to explain to people what I'm trying to do and what I meant by the end game. The goal is to, you guys are probably seeing this, just unlight the lights, and every time you do, the value on that particular side goes up. What you're trying to do is you want to do this 6 times, enough to get a special. Specials count as extra balls on this table. So, and as far as extra balls go, you can only have one extra ball per ball, but you can have up to 15 extra balls per game. So, and it's kind of obvious here, but nudging is pretty much mandatory on this table. But if the ball does have to drain, you want it draining down the middle. It's 1-3-5 corresponds to this, and 1-3-5 here. But thing of it is the sides here, 2 and 4 and 7 and 9, they're up here. You can easily get them. So once again, if the ball has to drain, you want it draining down the middle. That way it'll pick up the numbers that you can only get on these side rollovers, which are pretty hard to hit. And you can aim for these 2 targets here, and you'll get whatever's lit. But it's generally not a good idea if you look at kind of how they're aligned here. Yeah, this is kind of a bad idea. Yeah, so you don't want to directly aim for these. And then bumper play is also really important. This is really where you want the ball. You want the ball up here as long as possible. 2 of them, they're not always gonna be lit. I can't remember what you had to do to light them up. Probably, maybe hit one of these rollovers or something. So, yeah. But this is where you're gonna get a good chunk of your points. Last I checked, I think you get like 10 points regardless of whether or not they're lit. So, yeah. And then there's also a little bit of strategy on top of this too. Like, if you also you don't want the ball draining at all when you still have a full bank that's lit. You want the ball to drain. This is actually a pretty good situation to be in right here, because I only need to hit the 9 or the 4 and the 5 over here. What you don't want happening is the ball draining when you have a full bank that you have to hit. That kind of puts you at a bit of a disadvantage. So, oh, and there is flipper. You can flipper bitch on this table. You mistime the flip, and the ball just squirts right underneath. I think that should cover it.